Welcome. My name's Isan Omonjo, aka Jose. This is the Anime Bullshit Podcast, or ABS for short. Today that cat is in my backpack.
That's okay. Cats love being in small spaces. Like, you know that cats can, like, fit under doors, right?
Depending on the gap, yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah, they're, like, cats are, let's do a whole podcast about how cats are liquid.
Already, already episode 2 is off the rails. All right, so I'm Isan Omonjo, aka Jose. This is the ABS anime bullshit. I'm here with Sherman Baker, and today we're gonna talk about the big three. Fuck the big three. It's just big me. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the big three, but before that, I actually have some news to bring up. One of my favorite news this week. I actually have to go down to the bottom for it. Did you guys see this? The Malaysian government in talks with Jujutsu Kaisen publisher for rights to Kento Nanami Memorial. They want to put a memorial in that beach where, spoiler alert, he wanted to retire to. What do you guys think?
I mean,
it's got to be a statue of him horribly burned on half his body. Otherwise, it's not canon.
that would be pretty sick, actually. Okay.
Yo, pull up the image of Nanami horribly burned from his injuries so Salem can get a reference. Salem has not watched Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, 2, or read the manga, despite our best efforts.
That is correct.
Yeah, you can see here, Mr.
Okay, we got some Two-Face action.
Yeah, Mr. Nanami Kento is big feeling it right now.
Okay, well.
As the article says, he was waving in and out of like consciousness as he was like fighting all the cursed spirits and stuff.
As you can see, my boy Mahito's music hitting from the back as he approaches Nanami Kento.
You can hear it too, like you can hear it from back here.
You can hear what?
The big boss music.
No, that's just his entrance theme, dog. He's got to run down the ramp and jump in the ring.
Oh,
This was a wrestling reference.
I get it now.
No worries.
So you guys, I thought this was pretty funny.
Did Mahito put him in the walls of Jericho?
Unfortunately, no. I think he just jabbed his arm in his belly, killing him.
Well, that sounds like a lame finisher.
And then he said, Itadori finished the story or something. That's another wrestling reference.
Okay.
Thank you, dear listeners.
So I thought that was one of the funniest things I saw this week is that the Malaysian government like reached out to Gege Agatami and Shueisha and were like, hey, we want to build a statue of Nanami Kento on our beach. Is that cool? And they were just like, sure.
Did I ever tell you about the One Piece statues they built after the earthquakes?
Yeah, they're all over like Japan and
Mhm.
different prefectures and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
different prefectures.
Wait, so what do the statues look like?
Well, they're big bronze statues, like life-sized, of all the Straw Hats.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not Nami statue. Let's go.
Was that the one with the mouth that scares me a
Look,
little bit?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Okay. Yeah, those statues look sick.
I think
actually.
Jinbei's
Okay.
got to be the most recent one.
I think so because I think they're going by like the straw straw hats
joined
that
the Straw
joined.
Hats.
Yeah.
You know that latest prefecture was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a new Straw Hat, and then their hopes were immediately dashed.
Imagine the prefecture that went, we're fourth. Damn, we're gonna get Usopp. I hope they were at least like, can we get like God Usopp?
Yeah, God D Usopp. Say his name correctly, please.
Oh, also,
He's not actually D.
also speaking of like Asia, because a lot of this is gonna pertain to Asia. Sorry, this weird handbrake here. Keeping the theme of cars.
All right, what do you got?
This podcast contains no information about cars.
So apparently North Korea, there was somebody hacked a North Korean server or something like that, and there were apparently animation. There was a help from animation from Korea. Now this was from CNN, and I emailed this to myself like about 40 minutes after it was published, and then a couple days after that, all you saw were news articles from Comic Book Reader, Anime News Network, and other stuff that North Korea illustrators and graphic designers appear to have helped produce works for U.S. animation studios unbeknownst to the companies. Now other articles were also saying that it wasn't just the US, but also other other countries that were doing animation. And every country had to come out like, no, we didn't. We don't work with Korea, especially specifically North Korea.
I mean, it's probably South Korean animators. North Korean animators don't exist because they're starving.
No, apparently, like, these were North Korean servers with North Korean people, like North Koreans were like, I guess they have to like find jobs outside of North Korea.
You gotta make money for the rice somehow.
Seeing as how they have, the North Korea part of Korea has all the food and yet everyone's starving.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un needs all that food or else he'll starve.
He has to
I don't know why the people are so inconsiderate to his needs. This is a joke. This is not real.
I love how he also imported in a bunch of McDonald's. He just has McDonald workers on retainer.
Did you know that once Russia invaded Ukraine, they closed all the McDonald's and now they're replaced by fake McDonald's?
Yes.
Also fake Coca-Cola.
In Russia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of the sanctions.
Yep.
Okay.
So, like, instead of Coca-Cola, you get cola product.
That's pretty good. What about the McDonald's, though? What do they call those?
I don't.
Some generic burger
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Get burger here. Get burger from our restaurant. Still poor quality. No improvements.
It's a long-ass name.
No improvements will be made until morale raises. Beatings will continue until morale raises.
Okay, so actually, I kind of wanted to come back to like the Black Clover. Apparently, it's coming to Netflix too.
I believe it was already on Netflix, no?
Yeah, that's the thing is like it was, but here's the saying: the unappreciated series Black Clover is a fantastic shonen anime inspired by blah 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 blah. Basically, it's saying it's coming and it's going to be available to Netflix. So they have the movie exclusively on Netflix. That Black Clover movie, I'm not going to watch.
I remember watching it. It was pretty decent.
So
not non-canonical, but good otherwise.
What I was like, okay, so Crunchyroll is still continuing to port over their library, so they can reach a wider audience and then hopefully pull in viewers over to Crunchyroll. I get the strategy.
As long as I don't have to have a Netflix subscription to continue watching Black Clover, I'll be okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I just kind of like read this and I was like, unappreciated series. Who are you talking about?
I feel like
this niche series.
I feel like Black Clover is like perfectly appreciated. It is neither higher nor lower.
I'm sure it is.
All those My Hero fans though, they hate Black Clover.
At random points in time when I'm looking over Twitter and shit, people are talking about Black Clover still. Like it's not this like niche hidden gem or anything.
Yeah, do you know about Yami? He's pretty cool. He's the coolest guy. You know his name literally means dark.
I do know that, yes.
And he uses dark magic.
That's crazy.
And sometimes he has to go take a shit for a really long time.
All the time.
Oh, and just in case people were like sad when Toriyama passed away, apparently the Dragon Ball Super manga it is coming back. It was confirmed by Shueisha. Now, I don't think this had a release date or anything like that, but we are going to get it at some point. When it does, I will watch it. So other than that, anime game, I know our friend Tristan is really looking forward to this one. Have you guys heard about this one?
Nope.
It's like,
what in the world is this?
So this is from the director of Persona 3, 4, and 5, Refantazio. How do you say that? Fantazio? Fantazo?
Refantazio, I guess. Fantasio, something like that.
Our friend Tristan was saying it's kind of like, our friend Tristan was saying that this is kind of like Persona 5 Strikers. So I was like, Dynasty Warriors?
So it's a Muso game?
Yeah, I was like, Muso?
Disgusting.
Okay, all right.
I was a little initially turned off. I might play the game though still because it is by the same director. I mean, he kind of didn't miss with Persona 3, 4, or 5 in my opinion.
Pretty sure all those Muso games are made by like the same fucking studio.
Didn't they do like Hyrule Warriors and like
exactly.
Gundam Warriors and stuff like that? Okay.
Like as soon as you announce it's a Muso game, my brain is just off. It does not care for those games. Well, I know Salem.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind playing a game like that, but like, is the story good though? Like, is it interesting? Like that's what it would come down to.
Yeah, you have to kill these 600 warriors.
Oh yes, and see all the flashy moves and everything 50 times. Yeah.
We won't know until the game comes out. So we'll see what it is. I don't know if I'll drop $70 right away like I did with Persona 3. I kept falling asleep to that game, if you guys don't remember me telling you about it.
You didn't seem like you were bursting with excitement, that's for sure.
I did like it, but it was okay. Also, Adventure Time Fiona and Cake drops update on Season 2. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this one up is for all of my Fiona and Cake fans. I don't know if you guys know what this is.
Did they just make a spinoff?
Yeah, they made a spin-off to the gender swap Adventure Time characters, but this is actually a different universe, so they're not like the same characters. So, but the only reason I find this interesting is because Warner Brothers right now is being spearheaded by somebody who wants to like destroy movies and not let them out and just cut budgets. And he thinks the future of TV is in reality TV. You know, like 1,000-Pound Sisters. Hey, we bought a house, let's flip it.
Mm-hmm.
So just garbage TV.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised that this has a season 2 announcement because I really thought that was it. Animation with Warner Brothers is dead, but I guess not. Also,
so is there not like a release date set or anything? It's just like an announcement.
Yeah, it's just an announcement saying like, "Hey, season 2 is confirmed. Keep an eye out." And I'm just like, "Wow, David Zaslav gave an okay for season 2 on a show." And I'm pretty sure it's probably only because the Adventure Time name is recognizable and people still eat it up. So.
Oh yeah, it is.
I never got it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
The show was not for me either.
Yeah,
I just know people love that stuff, but it just wasn't for me.
Okay, I was just checking.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw the new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
I did not.
It looks fine. It looks like another like Deadpool movie to me.
I showed this to Big Strong Man, and she was like, "We're watching this."
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, this
Oh.
this seems exactly like that person's type of movie.
I mean, she doesn't care for any of this anime shit, the superhero shit. She doesn't care for all that. I mean, she watches Bad Girls Club, if that tells you anything.
I don't think anyone knows what Bad Girls Club is except
Dude,
for her.
There's gonna be a couple people on here and be like, "Yo, you dissing on Bad Girls Club? Don't fucking come for them."
If you watch Bad Girls Club, you can shut the podcast off at this point. This podcast will not be for you.
I see. Gatekeeping the podcast. From,
No, like you have to draw a line in the sand somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what Bad Girls Club is, Sherm?
I'm pretty sure you told me and my brain shut off, so I don't remember.
Just a bunch of women in a house and then they fight because they get mad at each other.
Wow, that sounds so exciting.
This is just the evolution of like all those fucking Real Housewives shows, right? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, but at least in Real Housewives they were classy. In this one, they're just hood.
Were they classy?
Not really, but they acted like they were.
I don't think they even were.
So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. I really want to go watch this. Are we gonna go see this?
No. I feel like this is a watch it at home kind of deal.
What?
Do you want to go see Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater?
So if I'm being frank and real and true, I personally wouldn't want it to.
Damn.
Not see it in theaters. I'm fine with watching it.
Yeah,
here.
if we want to watch it here, that's perfectly fine. But I just
this
wouldn't wanna go
is
to theaters
not
for it.
me. Go out and see it at the theaters.
All right.
But
Me-
granted, a lot of movies aren't like that anymore.
All right. So me and Big Strong Man.
Yeah,
For
no,
us.
you two go and enjoy yourselves.
All right. I love her. I mean,
You love who?
I love my Big Strong Man.
Good.
Oh, damn right.
Remember when she came out here and was like, "Oh my god,"
Yeah, she does that every time.
every time.
Dude, it just cracks me up, man.
I'm gonna start announcing people like coming into the room saying, "Is this their entrance music?"
This is what I was talking about earlier. Stellar Blade and NieR Automata. So both directors are like, "Yo, you like Neon Genesis? Me too."
No, I don't.
Now, do you like hot anime girls, hot anime android girls?
Depends. I don't know. It's like really weird. I have no idea what Stellar Blade is about.
I will say that I am a fan of 2B. That's for sure.
Of course you are.
Stellar Blade, I think I saw the trailer
Is this
for
made
it some
in
time
Korea,
ago.
by the way? Because
Yes.
they look very Korean.
I believe so.
It's a very
this is-
Korean character design.
This is a AAA Korean game.
Yeah, like the over design on the outfits really just like screams Korea to me.
The music that was in like the I guess just like the reveal trailer for it, the music fucking slapped, but like the actual like what was happening on screen just it didn't really draw
This looks
me
like
in.
a Final Fantasy VII game.
It kind of does. Now, there are a bunch of like costumes and stuff in here.
Of course.
Look,
Yeah, you have to.
swimsuit.
The
So,
PC community is gonna go crazy.
the
with this
PC
one.
community is already gone wild.
I'm sure. Those
So-
degenerates, where are they?
Look at all
Can
these different glasses.
Can
that you
anyone
wear.
tell me where I can find these things so I can avoid them at all costs?
Besides Stellar Blade's,
Yo, wait, was that just a fucking Jason Voorhees fucking costume?
potentially, I wasn't
Oh
looking.
my god.
So, what do you guys think? Like,
Oh, she even has a little like helper bot, just like in NieR Automata too. I didn't even notice that.
and Punishing Gray Raven, you can't forget about my Chinese man
Absolutely.
Oh,
not.
making low budget mobile phone games. So what do you guys think about like Yoko Taro and the Stellar Blade director just going like, yeah, we just copied the NieR.
I'm gonna be honest, I never like played NieR and thought, yeah, this is just Ava.
Yeah, so
Well, as someone who hasn't watched Ava, I can't really comment on that too
okay,
much.
so my brother broke it down like this for me. He said that Shinji is representative of what's her fucking name? 2B.
I don't like from what I know to a limited capacity, I don't understand that
Yeah,
comparison.
that doesn't sound right.
He said like 2B is a little bit like Shinji because Shinji, like, you know, Shinji keeps saying Rei get hurt and stuff and he can't do anything. He's not allowed to do anything about it. 9S, spoiler alert, continues to die and it's just part of the program and it breaks her every time. That's why it became like such a big deal about the whole rebirth and like coming back. And
I still don't see the comparison. Like I can see what he's trying to say, but man, when I look at NieR, I do not think, man, this is just like Ava.
I think the story beat, I think what all he did was just take the story beats and just change them up a little.
Yo, that lady's got Bayo
Okay,
glasses
I mean,
on.
I guess maybe if you're talking about story beats, I guess again, I don't know too much about Ava's like plot points, but like if we're talking character comparisons, I just don't see the.
Don't
Shinji
worry, we
thing.
got 4 hours. We can talk all about the Ava story. It's so simple to understand.
Oh, it's so simple.
If you just understand the third impact, that will make you understand the fourth impact and why we need the Spear of Longinus in order to. I got lost.
Oh, I see.
My head already hurts.
I mean, if you like, nothing against Evangelion, but if you need an explanation video on YouTube to explain to you what happened in Eva because you couldn't parse it yourself, it's a little pretentious for me.
Maybe they got lost in the sauce a little bit.
Like,
with,
I
themes
can't
and everything.
I can't really think of an anime that I've watched where I went, I need an explanation video. Maybe RE0, but I gave up on that nonsense.
Yeah. I every now and then, like, I do like watch clips and stuff from like different seasons and whatnot, just because I did enjoy bits of it, but I can never.
RE0?
Yeah, ReZero.
ReZero.
Yeah, just because like there are cool moments. I do enjoy again like the Sin Archbishops and everything like that.
Look, we've talked about it before. We feel like the most interesting parts of RE0 are when Subaru and Emilia are not involved in the story.
That is 100% true. Yes.
Yeah, like
Wow, that makes a lot of sense because I couldn't get past that first episode extended edition, which is just the first two episodes
You mean-
together.
Oh yeah, I think that was like
You mean-
40-50 minutes. Something
you mean
like
the
that.
Fate TM episode, first episode?
No, so it's basically I was watching like the special edition or the extended edition. It's basically like it basically takes like 2 episodes at a time and it puts them together.
That
Oh.
sounds terrible.
Okay, then I don't know what you're talking about then, because
I
I
mean-
think the first episode was like pretty lengthy. if I
That
recall.
sounds right to me.
Then maybe I watched episode 1 and it was just too long and I was like, I'm done.
Well, you're not missing anything. I'll tell you that. If you want to look at like what I consider to be the coolest thing, the Sin Archbishops, you can just look up clips or something. Like, I don't think you need to watch the series.
I think the witches are cool.
Oh yeah, the witches too. Of
The
course.
witches are cool. The Sun Archbishops, like the great calamities or whatever they call them. Like
Oh yeah, like the whale.
the whale, the like swarm of murderous bunny rabbits is cool.
Yep.
There's a lot of cool things that are dragged down by the fact that I have to watch Subaru Simp for Amelia for the fucking 24th episode in a row.
You're telling
think
me you
this
got
is-
tired of seeing Subaru cry and complain and
You
throw
remember when
tantrums?
Rem was like, "Hey, I would love to, I don't know, be in a relationship
Yeah,
or
we could
something,"
like
and
run
he was
away
like,
together.
he was like, "Nah,
No,
get out."
Amelia.
Amelia.
It's
I have
the
to go
it's the
back.
Simpsons sheep meme where they're batting Rem out of the way to say Amelia. Get out of the way, you.
Well, one dead franchise for another. I feel like I haven't heard about it already in forever.
They're literally
Oh.
releasing new episodes.
Oh, really?
It's this season, yeah.
Gross.
I agree.
for the new season of ReZero.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're making more of it.
Let's see.
The fact that none of us have heard about it probably tells us enough.
Let's see
Yeah.
if anybody starts talking about it online.
Sure, there'll be videos at the end of the season.
Okay.
I mean, if we're on Twitter, we're bound to see at least screenshots or something, I'm sure.
All right. So, do you guys know about Universal?
No.
Monsters?
Nope.
Van
Nope.
Helsing?
Can't say I do.
I know about Van Helsing.
Okay, well, this isn't Van Helsing related, but basically,
Okay.
Universal's been trying to reboot their Dark Pictures, their remember Dracula Untold and The Mummy with Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
the thing they canceled immediately after it flopped.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the photo where they had like, hey, this is going to be the entire cast of the Dark Universe, and nobody was in the same room after like it came out that nobody was in the same room as each other?
Good.
That's pretty funny.
That shit was hilarious. Well, anyways, I think they just kind of gave up because they have a new Black Lagoon comic book and this artwork looks pretty good. I don't know the writer. So, I mean, I might check out the first issue at least. This is like manga for me. Like, I always at least check out the first like 5 chapters of anything. If this is anything, I'll let people know at the end, but I don't know if this is out yet or not. But like, it's supposed to be a new launch to like the Universal monsters because at this point, I don't even know I don't even think Universal knows what to do, but they just want their own Marvel universe.
They saw something else being successful, making a lot of money, and they're like, yeah, we should do that.
I feel like we're past the golden era of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we never entered the DC version of that. So companies trying to like make their own, get in their slice of the pie, like just stop, please. You're not gonna reinvent the wheel here.
Let's just keep throwing shit at the wall, Let's just
Yeah,
keep
we'll
doing
just
it.
throw endless money at the wall.
Yeah, it'll work out.
And when it fails, we'll just cancel it again.
One thing I think is like funny about that comic is that comic is probably not going to sell very well and it'll probably be a flop and be canceled. However, the what is it, Webtoons owner is saying Manhwa will overtake manga, and I think he might have thrown comic books under the bus, but he's basically saying like, yeah, people are constantly on their phones and you can just open up a comic at the touch of a button. Why would anybody want manga? Plus they're colored. That's kind of how I read this.
I mean, this is this is like so far deep into the argument of why would anyone want to own physical media? Like I get it for collecting purposes, but at this point, who's sitting there holding a manga reading it anymore?
Me.
And me.
Yes, I know.
I have Ragna Crimson to read, Sherm, okay?
How many volumes do you own?
I own 3 currently.
Sorry, chapters. Same. Wait, is it a volume?
Said volumes?
Yeah, volume is collected
Okay,
chapters.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, like no, you read. You both are weird. Like most people.
both are weird.
No, like look, seriously though.
I
No
just
one-
I like collecting manga physically if I can.
No,
Anything with
I
the
realize
Batman.
that you do, but I feel like I'm in the majority on this, where most people either can't afford to collect physical media anymore, or just don't have the space for it.
I completely understand that.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, if we're talking like just raw money, yeah, it's most definitely cheaper just to read your stuff online.
Like, this is the thing I was talking about earlier. The Power Rangers the Boom Power Rangers comic. The collected versions are like $75 for like 12 issues. Like, yeah, I want to read these, but that's expensive.
I also don't know why he's making the comment that Manhwa will take over manga. That doesn't really translate, because manga
is also digitally available.
I was gonna say manga is also digitally available, just like comics are. Like, this is a weird argument. Like, if
Yeah.
you're saying Manhwa will take over paper manga, sure, but I feel like most paper things are going away anyway.
I think one of his arguments is that, hey, you know how like people are already like wired to scroll down on their phone? Yeah, like manhwa is designed that way.
I mean, I think it translates better, but if
Like, that's the reason, that's kind of a leap, if you ask me.
I don't
Like,
think that's
literally we're just
entirely
talking
the
about
reason.
Scrolling direction.
yeah, it's like depending on which site you use to read manga, you can do that too.
I think the major points were you already own a phone. They're almost free. Almost all of them are free, and then it's like they're colored. What do you guys?
I mean, the color thing helps me immensely because I don't really like when I read manga, I lose a lot, so the color helps a lot. Because at a certain point during an action scene, especially in like some of the newer mangas nowadays, like JJK and Chainsaw Man are perfect examples of this, you just lose what's going on in the scene. To a certain point, I just start skipping the actual action and read the bubbles to learn what the fuck just happened.
I mean, as someone that does read manga and manhwa on their phone, like, yeah, manhwa being in color is cool, but like when I'm reading manga and it's not colored, it's not really taking away or really, it's not a detriment to manga where it's just in, black and white. It doesn't really matter to me.
Well, do you think we're losing something by getting rid of physical media? By getting rid of like the page? No, I'm asking for real because like I enjoy reading comic books. I enjoy reading a manga. Like I enjoy having it in my collection. So then I can be like, look, here's the collected.
Yeah, you got a display piece. You can just grab it at any point and just flip to whatever you need. And I do prefer reading physically to digitally.
But like, do you think we're losing something if we just completely start transitioning to like no physical?
I mean, like objectively, we'd be losing something because now we only have one option as opposed to two. But I mean, like, I would think it'd be unfortunate if we purely moved away from like physical media.
I think this also might come down to like it being a lifestyle thing. Like if I could physically own all of a manga and also physically have the time to sit there, hold the manga in my hand and read it, sure, that might be a different argument. But I think we're at least, you two both own physical manga, but most of your manga reading is done on your phone.
Overall, yeah, that's true. I mean, I only own like a handful of series and multiple volumes of said series. So if I compare that to like everything that I read, yeah, you'd be right on that.
Like, I'd love to own the entire physical copy of The Promised Neverland. Do I have room for it? No. Do I want to pay for it? Like, to own all those volumes? No. Would it be cool? Yes. I think that's just kind of where at least I'm at, where it's just like, I don't have time to sit and physically read a book or pay to own the books or even, like, have space to display the books.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly understandable.
That's fair. Okay, so saying we're going to lose one thing to another. Apparently during the Funimation Crunchyroll transition, Crunchyroll has just not put a couple of things on the streaming site. I tried to watch something a while back and it just, the page is there. If you look at it online, if you like Google for it online, the page will be there, but it just won't be there. But if you try to like search it for it on Crunchyroll, it'll just say nothing's found.
So like, what if you search it and it says it's on there, you click on the link and then just it doesn't pop up?
Yeah, it'll be like nothing here, and it'll say sorry, error, nothing here.
Well, that's strange.
So I don't really know what Crunchyroll is doing. Do you think it's a server thing? Why aren't we getting some of these things? Because one of the first things they transitioned over was like Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions here. Like, what are the let's be honest, what are the major titles that we're actually missing?
So-
Because
A couple of Gundam.
okay, so like the argument here is that
Here's the list.
Funimation said, "Hey, we're merging with Crunchyroll. We're gonna port our entire library over." Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so these were just people that paid for a Funimation subscription, correct?
Correct. These are people who only pay for Funimation.
Okay.
I mean, sorry. No, these are people who only pay for Crunchyroll. They may have not. Okay, sorry. Let me start that over.
They pay for Funimation.
And now they're in with Crunchyroll, and now they're missing a couple of their series.
Okay, so I might be in the minority, and that's totally fine. Really, who cares? Like, okay, no, look at the list, and you point out to me the ones that you say, man, it's such a shame we lost that.
But what about A Certain Magical Index, Sherm? What
That
about
was
that
like a
one?
movie, and you know it. But like,
For some reason, it
No,
says
you're right, yeah.
Bakemonogatari's not on there, but it is.
I was gonna say, I
So
feel
this-
like Bakemonogatari's been on there for a long time.
Yeah, it's never not been on there.
Like, I'm sure these are cult
second.
classics for some, but like,
Oh, Kogiyasa, Akito the Exile. We're not missing anything, folks.
No, I think-
that was trash. There was one cool thing about it, and it was the Centaur Nightmare frame.
So,
That was the
like-
only thing.
I understand people are gonna say, well, Funimation said they would, so it should be there. No, I get it. Like, I'm totally with you wanting to complain
Right.
about the fact that they said they would do a thing and they haven't done a thing.
Right, on principle. Yeah.
These are niche, incredibly niche shows, except for, sure, some of the Dragon Ball movies, maybe, or some of these, like, one-off shows. But who is really complaining about this loss?
Hold on, I might have gotten this confused. Per list compiled by one of the moderators in Crunchyroll Discord, we said,
Yeah,
okay.
it's that they were on Funimation, now they're not on Crunchyroll.
And
I mean, if we are being real about this, I mean, at the end of the day, of course, it's not condoned or anything, but like, if there are shows missing due to that merger that happened, I'm sure you could find other ways.
There are
enjoy it.
several ways to enjoy your favorite anime. Like I feel like if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably already aware of ways you can find to watch things that you may not own. Not that we're condoning that.
Right. It does suck that it's not on the website, but
Also,
there are ways to find it.
From what Jose is looking up, like on just a Crunchyroll browser, it looks like some of this is being ported. It may just be that it's taking time because, I mean, that's a large amount of data to put on a server. Plus, you have to create a page for it on Crunchyroll. You have to link everything together. You have to set up the episodes. Like, this could honestly just be it's taking time.
I think you're right. I don't know what this. I should have checked this. I should have checked this before bringing this up. But it does look like a lot of these are still on Crunchyroll now. Some of the ones that aren't, you're right. They're like pretty niche or like nowhere to be found.
Like if your favorite show is Zillion and it's no longer available on Funimation, I feel like you just go find it somewhere, watch it. Right. Funimation and Crunchyroll are not losing out on enough money to where it's going to matter. That's just my whole thing. Like, I've been seeing this over and over about, oh, the digital library isn't available. Well, for one, you're paying a subscription. So like, it was never your media to begin with. You were just paying to access it.
Right.
If it's not there, go get it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's not erased from the internet.
It is physically available for one.
Yeah, like
that too.
Yeah,
that too.
If you really want it, go buy the Blu-rays or the DVDs, whatever they were made on.
But you're right. There are ways to get it elsewhere where we don't condone any Jolly Ranchering, but
Jolly Rogering.
Whatever.
I got you.
Jolly Ranchering.
Honestly, it's better that way.
Yes, you don't have to raise your Jolly Rogers. You can still enjoy the media that you love. It's not gone.
This is why, like, I'm such a big advocate for this, because when shitty companies act shitty and do bad things to you, do bad things back to them.
It's like Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's like all the like, hey, we made this digital game that requires servers to be hosted. In a year, they shut down the servers. Yeah. And then some guys like, yeah, I don't know how with duct tape and rubber bands, I put together like 4 servers you can all play on. Like, good. I'm glad that man did that because some people still want to play that game. Like, it may not be entirely legal, but I'm glad someone is doing the work or it's available somewhere for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can find it somewhere, you can probably download it somewhere, and then you can burn your own disc and you'll physically own it.
I agree.
It's just like when a company is going to do something bad and not follow through on one of their promises, take it to that company by doing something they might not approve of. Like, if media is not physically available for you to get your hands on in any way, whether buying it, finding a streaming service, take it into your own hands at that point.
I mean, I guess that's I agree. That's where I'll end that one because, like, yeah, we're losing a couple of things, but like, we're not losing shows that millions of people are still watching repeatedly
It,
every day.
it'd be different if you went on, like, you were watching One Piece or Dragon Ball or anything
Yeah,
on.
like ongoing shows.
Yeah, and it switched to from Funimation to Crunchyroll, and they were like, just gone.
Yeah, sorry guys, no more One Piece.
Yeah, you can't have it
It's
anymore.
out of our hands.
So you'll never discover what the One Piece is.
Well, I think I brought up your name last week about how like everyone's gonna be watching Suzume and making their own edits.
Yeah, this was brought up last week.
So the Your Name animators or artists is making a new movie, The Garden of Words, and I'm just gonna tell you this like still right here looks absolutely gorgeous in my opinion.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say anime movies like Your Name, A Silent Voice, Suzume, like, I know they may not all be from the same company. I think they look better than Miyazaki movies and probably have better stories.
Some of them definitely do. Like Miyazaki has always looked phenomenal, but I think
It looks incredible. I'm not going to say his artwork is not great, but man, sometimes his stories just lose me. And that might be me. I'm not saying you're wrong for liking Miyazaki movies. I just personally haven't enjoyed some of the ones that I watched.
Well, hell, I mean, when we watched The Boy and the Heron, the plot was not complete garbage, but it also wasn't great either.
Academy Award-winning Boy and the Heron.
Yes.
Which, did it win for animation?
The Boy and the Heron, it just won in general, yeah.
Which, you know, that could just be the category being animation, being that Miyazaki movies always look fantastic.
Now, this movie is called A New Dawn. I think I said A Garden of Words. No, I think Your Name and A Garden of Words are the name of, like, the two projects this guy.
Yeah, from the artist, yeah.
Yeah. How do you say that?
Yoshitoshi
Shinomiya.
Yeah, Shinomiya.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to make his own feature debut because I think he was just doing character designs for those other two movies. So he'll just be breaking out with this. And I don't know if you've seen some of these stills that I've been just kind of like scrolling through. Everyone should look this up. A New Dawn. These stills are pretty amazing. They're pretty gorgeous in my opinion. And yes, you're right. Sometimes they look even better than some of Miyazaki's stuff.
I don't know, so far it looks solid.
And the article I'm pulling up from Variety is just 3 stills, but god damn, does this not look amazing? It almost looks like watercolor brush art.
Yeah, I think movie looked good.
It looks pretty crisp, honestly.
Maybe watch movie when movie come out.
I think this is one of those movies like I wish they would just like bring it not day one, but like at least when like the movie's coming out, kind of like a day and day release or like maybe a week release after Japan. I don't know, something like that because I feel like we don't get anything here.
We have Suzume. It's on Crunchyroll right
I know,
now.
but like in theaters.
We could physically watch. I'm pretty sure Suzume came to theaters.
But I'm saying like there was no advertising, no promotion, not on my end. That movie went completely over my head and then I'm like, what is this?
It's such like a low budget project compared to like Hollywood that you're never going to get the same kind of marketing for it. So you just kind of have to have your finger on the pulse in this kind of scenario.
Well, speaking of Miyazaki winning at the Oscars, apparently the Oscars have put in a new Oscar rule for easier qualification for an animated movie. Now, does this look like an animated movie to you? I think this was rotoscope.
This looks awful.
I mean, going by the still here, I mean, it could be an animated movie.
This could be somebody drew this in 5 minutes and left it on this article.
It could be a YouTube short film. Yeah.
Okay, so I did look up the 2 artists that these movies are about, this article from IndieWire. So these 2 animated movies are from places like Indonesia, basically places where you don't see an animated feature because it's just too expensive. Plus, you really wouldn't see a movie come out of this country anyways because making movies is expensive. So the fact that somebody has been able to like do an animated thing in their style of their country or just have like their vision on screen, I kind of want to see this. Now, if it turns out to be ass, I mean, that's the fault of that movie and director. But even if it's good, I want to give it like a shout out because this is, a lot of countries are struggling to like get their stuff out, especially lower income countries. And I mean, this doesn't look like the best artwork in my opinion, but the fact that they were able to get something done, I would say is like a big achievement in my opinion. And okay, so I think part of it was that it says right here, previously animated movies selected as a country's international feature selection, something were not qualified to enter for animated feature consideration unless they also met the qualifying standards for general entry, which was a theatrical US distribution release. I think they got rid of this arbitrary rule because it was like, if you didn't release a movie in the US, like if it didn't come out in theatrically in the US, you're not nominated. You can't be nominated, which I think is a bullshit rule. So I'm glad they got rid of it. I mean, even if I still can't watch this movie, I'm going to find it somewhere at some point. But I'm glad these movies are getting recognition, I suppose. I mean, I don't know, like, I know you guys don't care for like international stuff and things like that, but in my opinion, I think this is a good step forward for other countries to like get noticed and we can see like their animation.
Honestly, who cares about the Oscars anymore?
I mean, I'm of the same opinion, but the fact that the Oscars put me on to these two movies I kind of want to watch is like probably the only good thing they've done in
I
like the
mean,
last 10 years.
if people are pouring their passion and like their money and stuff like that into their project, and they believe like, hey, we had a story to tell, and we wanted it animated, we wanted people to see it and enjoy it, they should be recognized for it. I agree. Instead of just kind of being this like super niche, like not really seen thing. After all the time they put into it.
Yeah, see, this movie's like from the Philippines. Now, the Philippines, I don't know if you've ever seen the exchange rate. It's absolutely crazy. You could take $5 and you're basically like a millionaire, if I remember correctly.
Is that right?
I think you're thinking of Venezuela.
I mean, that one too. I'm just saying, like, these are countries where you can like get basically like a family dinner course for like $10. Like, yeah, it's almost like a buffet level of like food that's coming out to you for like $10.
Damn.
Now that's not entirely correct, but that's like the example. Anyways, so yeah, just moving on from this, I'm glad the Oscars are changing the rules because obviously they're absolutely out of date and I hate them. So just glad that it's kind of going away. And one of the last things I wanted to bring up was this. TP Bond. It's an animated Netflix movie. So this is basically by the Doraemon guy. I don't know if you guys ever watched Doraemon, but this is supposed to be like a time travel kind of thing. I think the animation kind of looks really good. Reminds me of Ranking of Kings. Is that the one?
I mean, that's the one, but I don't think this looks like Ranking of Kings. This reminds me almost like old school Astro Boy.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, this definitely looks old school.
It looks old
it's done
school.
by Bones.
And I was hoping that would catch your attention. I mean, the story looks absolutely bonkers, and I kind of want to watch this. Now, when I saw that it was by the Doraemon guy, I thought, like, is this going to be like a children's kind of thing? But the trailer hints to a like more mature story. So I don't know, like, in your guys' opinions, like, what do you think of this? Like, you're watching the trailer right now, so
just going by what I'm seeing, I don't think this is necessarily for me. I mean, I probably need to like read a plot synopsis to really like understand what's going on here.
Nope. I don't think I would enjoy this very much.
Yeah, this doesn't tickle your fancy?
Doesn't look like it.
I think I will check this out once it comes out, but here's a plot synopsis right here.
Oh, there's a witch burning scene in there. Okay.
Do you not see the periods of history he goes through?
I'm seeing a few,
Yeah.
but that's the one that stuck out.
Wow, so they already got like season 1 and season 2 ready to go, according to this description on Netflix. But yeah, ordinary junior high school student encounters the pages of history, and apparently this was a manga. Yeah, it's getting adapted, and I don't know if you guys aren't gonna get into it. That's completely fine. I might watch it. I don't know if I'll. You guys know how I am.
Sure.
Every now and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm just not gonna watch Full Metal or Black Lagoon or something good, and I'm just gonna watch something absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a banger. Who knows?
Yeah. Arcane. Skip that.
All right, so getting on to the meat and bones of this thing, Kendrick said, "Fuck the big three."
It's One Piece. It's just Big Me.
Yeah,
Just
you think One Piece is just Big Me?
Look, it's the only one left, and it's still high quality years
Sure.
fucking later. Don't fucking step to me like that.
I didn't do anything.
It's always been One Piece.
Always has, always will be.
I would say J. Cole is a little bit Bleach, and then obviously Naruto's Drake. He's too overhyped, too overpopular, and he's not as good as people say he is.
Man, that later part of his career really went downhill, just like Boruto, huh? That's
Oh
crazy.
boy. Oh.
You remember when he streamed with Ninja on Fortnite?
Oh my god, dude.
Popped off for his career.
I dislike Drake with a passion.
I'm well aware.
I listened to like his first 3 albums, and then he started releasing music annually like fucking Ubisoft, and I was like, what is this shit?
Dude, the Drake 3 Black Flag is gonna go nuts. You're not gonna believe what it's like.
Dude, look, okay, I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with anime or anything, but I want you to take a look at something. I want to show you guys something that absolutely pisses me off.
Is it the hair thing again?
No, I don't care about his hair.
Folks, Jose is in the zone right now.
Can we at least watch Ren and Luvia fight each other again?
Yeah, let's see that suplex again.
Oh my god, it's such a good
On the
German
full screen.
suplex. Cherry on top at the end of that show, by the way.
Leaves on a strong note.
I mean, like, you've already enjoyed your time with it. Most things turned out the way you wanted, and then you're like, 2 hot girls doing German suplexes to each other? I'm into this.
Okay, check this out. Do you see this?
My-
Do you see this
I
absolute...
see a pregnant
Why
women
do Drake's
emoji
albums
thing.
look like Magic the Gathering cards?
This is what I'm
a
saying.
little bit.
This is from his album Certified Lover Boy. Look at this shit. This is
Why are there a bunch of pregnant women emojis on my screen?
Speaking of which, have you heard the Single Mom song that's been blowing up on TikTok?
Is it a Drake song?
No, but it's better than
what
Drake.
are you talking about?
The
Single Mom
I'll have
song?
to show this to you later.
Okay.
Just look at these fucking album covers. They're absolutely horrendous. I fucking hate them.
Well,
don't worry, Jose. We all hate this.
Like, there are good album covers, like, but goddamn, like, what is this? Like, at least half of his discography is just his face.
We have a drawing made by a grade schooler.
Pull up M's
for all the dogs. This is what Kendrick was talking about. For all the dogs, they're getting buried.
Yeah, let's pull up M's album covers and look at the greatness.
Which one?
M's.
Eminem?
That's right. Goddamn correct. Don't step to my boy.
I want to know what the Drake magic cards do.
What
are
my
their
god.
effects?
Doing a blue counterspell. That's crazy.
Oh boy.
Like, these are pretty good. Like, you got the Shady LP, Shady 2.
Yo, the curtain into him coming back out of the curtain for the encore.
Relapse.
To him later doing the curtain call. That man's on some shit.
Dude, Relapse, his face is just made out of pills and not just like a stupid portrait or drawing of him. That's pretty sick.
Do you remember?
So we didn't have grade schoolers draw this
Do you
one.
remember when MGK dissed his daughter, so he made a diss track so hot that MGK switched fucking genres?
I'm sure somebody will probably try to like, no, he was already going to switch. Like, shut up. MGK sucks.
I have people that I know that unironically love MGK, and I question their existence.
As you should.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the main topic, the big three. Sherm, you want to start us off with One Piece without spoiling anything?
Not especially. You go first.
All right, so Naruto. It's not as good as people think,
What?
in my opinion.
Please explain.
Okay, so as we've recently learned, Kishimoto's not a storyteller. Can you tell?
Yeah, are we going to talk about that, where his editor was like, hey, what if you added Sasuke?
And he was
Sasuke Uchiha.
Like, you have to understand that Kishimoto wrote Naruto and didn't have Sasuke in it.
We have to understand that everybody for years has known that Kishimoto was originally going to make a story about a fox kid who makes ramen, and a couple of the characters are carried over. But what we didn't know is that his story was so bad that his editor basically plotlined everything. Well, most of it. But like, as you get further into the manga, I don't know how much influence Kishimoto had, because once you get to the Fourth Great Ninja War, I'm just like, this goes on for fucking ever. It goes on for like 27 volumes, and then it just kind of ends like a wet fart with a fucking moon ninja princess lady.
Hey, she's the mother of all chakra. All
That
right.
is so stupid.
Get it correct.
She planted the tree.
Get it. As my boy once said, get it right or get it tight.
It should have ended with Obito being the one to orchestrate everything. Then Madara coming in, becoming realived, getting defeated. That's it.
Dude,
you should have ended it there. Why did you
Obito,
continue?
or especially Madara, should have been the endgame villain. They beat him. We're all good. That should have been...
No. You all don't understand. They're
okay.
all in the infinite Tsukuyomi right now.
Oh, when were we not in the infinite Tsukuyomi? That's the real question.
Have I shown you my Shikai yet?
Oh, are you under the impression that I didn't show it to you?
God, mind games.
Look, I grew up with this series. I have the manga back there. I have reread this multiple times to see, like, am I the one in the wrong? I'm not. It's just not a good story. It has great moments, great action beats. This is like, Naruto is kind of like, good bad movie. I can't think of a good bad movie. What's a movie with like great action, great cinematography, and just a shitty story?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
No, honestly, I unironically love that movie. I know how bad it is. I know that it probably stomps all over the source material. That doesn't stop me from loving it.
The one with Channing Tatum?
Is that the second one or the first one?
That is the first one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I think I watched
We got the ending scene where it's like, you can call me Commander.
With Snake Eye lips?
He
had lips on that first one. I just
did
remember.
he actually have lips?
Yeah,
He had
oh no.
Wait.
Oh no.
Which one's the Joe Ninja?
Oh, that's Snake Eyes.
I don't think he did. I think he wore a mask.
Yeah, we had Snake Eyes.
Oh,
and,
no, yeah, he did. Okay.
Oh, that looks so bad.
No,
They
what
my
are you
God.
talking about? It looks incredible.
Oh, does it?
They
Oh,
removed the
okay,
lips for the
okay.
second one.
As they should.
Snake Eyes 2, my favorite movie.
Oh, finally.
They made spin-offs, didn't they? I forgot about those.
They made this Snake Eyes movie back in 2021. I don't know if we'll ever get to this, but I mean, dude, Naruto is particularly overhyped. A lot of us grew up with it, just kind of like how a lot of people grew up with like Dragon Ball. A lot of us can tell you Dragon Ball isn't a great narrative, but there's great action. It's the same with Naruto. Naruto has some great beats and there's some good like sad moments or like some good moments where like you're like, oh, that was sad. That was like that hit me where it hurts. But that doesn't mean the overall story is good. I mean, if you stopped at Naruto, if you're reading Naruto or watching Naruto, hopefully you're not watching Naruto because god damn, that shit is full of filler.
Yeah, you just skip it all. That's what I did. It still wasn't worth it.
It holds up until like Naruto holds up until you have to like take out the Akatsuki one by one. Then I'm just kind of like, this is dragging ass so hard, especially with the Shikamaru part. I understand Shikamaru had to have his moment, but like I was just bored, man.
But I don't know. I like Shikamaru a lot. He's one of the few characters that I enjoy from
I'm going to be
Naruto.
honest with you. At least with the Akatsuki stuff, I was still on board with Naruto at that point.
Right, but like, can you tell me how like Deidara died? Can you tell me how Kuzan died?
Didn't Deidara get killed by Obito?
Deidara... Oh, what's up?
Didn't Deidara get killed by Obito?
Deidara killed himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The when he was fighting Sasuke, and Obito Toby at the time was Deidara's partner. Toby took the fuck off, and Deidara was fighting Sasuke, and Deidara, in a fit of absolute rage, decided that his best solution in this moment was to blow himself up. He turned himself into a bomb.
Really hit him with the Pedro.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, can you really tell me this guy was memorable? Hidan? Can you tell me Kakuzu was memorable?
Unironically,
are you gonna say they're memorable?
Which one was fucking
To me.
Kakuzu?
Kakuzu was
he had like 4 hearts or some bullshit.
Kakuzu was the
Wait,
partner
wasn't
of
Kakuzu?
Hidan.
Yeah, okay.
And they were
He
both
had like the weird like
immoral.
hair thing.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know how he gets defeated? Kakashi and a bunch of other ninja are struggling against them. Then Naruto comes in like,
Yeah.
"This is my Rasen Wind Shuriken." Like,
This
Yeah.
is the
comes in at
big
the end.
reveal.
he just comes in at the end
Hey, do you remember when the Rasen Shuriken used to damage Naruto so he couldn't use it?
I do remember
guess
that
that doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, oops.
because he just throws it with one of his like fucking ninja tails
yeah,
or
if I
whatever.
just throw it with one of my clones, it doesn't hurt
We
it.
need our main character to keep using the cool move people like. We can't have it hurt him.
I don't even think the Rasen Shuriken's that cool.
Kisame,
I don't think so either.
he was okay. Sasori, does anyone care for Sasori? He got beat by Sakura.
Yeah, I like.
All right, put your
I
hand
like,
down.
like it's weird. At a certain point, I started cheering for Sasori,
Really?
or I was on the fence between Sasori and Grandma Chiho, whatever the fuck her name was. I don't remember.
Granny Chio, yeah.
Yeah.
Like white
was-
Zetsu, black Zetsu. Like, what are these fucking characters, dog?
So if we're talking Akatsuki,
Yo,
right?
Naruto was in the Akatsuki. That's crazy.
This
Oh,
Google page is
yeah, of
absolutely
course,
wrong.
yeah.
Well, it's sourced from across the web,
Like,
so
if we're talking Akatsuki, like, honestly, I liked most of them. Like, Zetsu was kind of whatever because he just wasn't doing very much. Like, he wasn't, like, actively fighting anybody at the time. But, like, Hidan was my favorite Akatsuki member.
okay,
No, like, I get it. He fights with the scythe. Like, I'm here for it.
okay,
He's
but
got a cool weapon.
He's
I
got
like
the
the
coolest
voodoo
weapon.
man kind of, you know.
All right.
but tell me, what was the goal of the Akatsuki?
The Akatsuki
They were
was
to
to
gather
gather
the tailed beasts.
tailed beasts.
And for what?
So they could summon the 10 tails.
Pain's original plan was that he wanted to gather all the tailed beasts and put them back inside the Gedomazo statue. And then apparently he was going to give every nation their own like mega powerful jutsu.
I thought it was to
nuke.
summon the 10 tails.
That is
No,
what it
that wasn't
initi-
Pain's original.
That's what it became because of Zetsu and Black Zetsu.
So,
Can you tell? Okay, is this plot riveting? Does this have you at the edge of your seat?
I kept watching.
I was fine with it at the time.
Could you redo it now, like some people do? They rewatch the show.
I feel like
I couldn't rewatch.
I feel
the
like
show,
if
no.
Naruto was paced better, cut into 12 or 24 episode anime seasonally, this shit would have gotten
Yeah.
canceled by now. Like after the tuning exams, we would have cut this shit off.
And see, and that's what I'm talking about. Like up until Naruto, that shit kind of slaps. Rock Lee versus Gaara, Sasuke versus Naruto,
Yeah, classic.
Zabuza versus Kakashi, that kind of stuff. That's what drew you in. And yet, because you became attached to these characters, you kind of stayed around for this fucking plot about, hey, we're gonna collect the tails and we're gonna make this ultimate jutsu. We're gonna give it to every country. Oh my god, this guy, he's the son of a space ninja. That's crazy.
I mean, I will say the idea of putting the entire world under the infinite Tsukiyomi is a cool idea.
See, that's fine.
Yeah.
Execution's
Like-
a little poor.
there were layers to this whole thing. It was just like you thought this was the end game villain. No, it's actually this guy. No, it's actually this guy.
I feel
Just
like
kept
that's
going.
just like that's evident in his writing overall.
Because I enjoyed it more when I didn't have to deal with Naruto sometimes. In my opinion, sometimes when I was
Yeah,
only
I
dealing
enjoyed
with
Naruto when Naruto was not on
Yeah,
screen.
the side characters are some of the best parts. Unfortunately, they don't
Yes.
matter. And they never will because Naruto is Ninja Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Like, do I need to bring up how Might Guy should have just ended the entire fucking show? But then, no.
no, he gets a broken foot and he gets to live.
You see, because they were setting up for Naruto and Sasuke, and they have to get involved. So
yeah,
of course,
but, Might Guy unlocked the 8 gates.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
Is it 8 or 10? I
8.
forget.
the 8 gates, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was cool.
See,
as fuck.
and that was built up from the moment we met Rock Lee and Guy.
Oh,
that
yeah,
you
and-
cannot open the 8th gate.
And in the back
You
of our minds,
can, you'll just
you'll
die.
just
Yeah,
die.
well,
But in the
that's-
back of our minds, we're wanting to actually see that happen at some
I
point.
want to see Might Guy dead, not in a wheelchair.
Because that would be such a good sacrifice.
That's a good statement. I
Yeah,
want to see
like-
Mike.
Who cares about fucking what's his name with the fucking swastika on his head?
That's
Neji.
the,
Neji?
that's the only death we got. And it was kind of like take care of Hinata kind of death.
You got Asuma, I guess, which was emotional for probably me and Salem, but
Yeah, I mean, it
See,
hit me kind
that's
of
a
when
good-
it happened.
See, and that right there, that's a good story plot line driven by the characters. Asuma, Sarutobi, and...
no, fuck Sarutobi. Sarutobi sucks.
Okay, Sarutobi sucks, but I'm saying the entire that entire plot was really well written. And yet, he can't deliver this kind of quality to like the rest of his fucking manga? What is going on? Oh, he's not writing it
I don't-
himself.
I wouldn't say Sarutobi's well written because
No, Sarutobi's well written to be an asshole. He's well written to he's well written to be the most terrible guy.
I wouldn't even say that because they tried the entire show to make you think he was the fucking sweet
Yeah,
grandpa
like-
of the village
like,
that was gonna do anything.
When we get
for
like people
anybody.
remembering Sarutobi, it's never in like a negative way. Like especially
Well-
with like Asuma.
It was never negative until people went, man, so Sarutobi just put Naruto in an apartment
It's like,
by
yeah,
himself.
now that I look back at it, yeah, well, not a great guy, actually.
Yeah, it's like when you go back and look at it, you go, oh no, Sarutobi was a monster.
Remember, Hashirama was like for all the people, yet his brother was a fucking racist. Like, what
No,
the-
I get it. Like those fucking like
your Chiha have to
no,
be eliminated.
No, Toby Rama was right. Think about it. All the fucking Sharingans are the problem in this universe.
that does stem back to a lot of people, but to like ostracize them and then kill them, that is kind of going a bit too far.
I mean, did Hitler go too far?
I mean, was Aaron right? Was Aaron right?
Let's think about it.
No, Aaron was wrong because Aaron is a terrible villain.
And so this is all I'm saying is like,
He was
sure,
a hero, sure.
No, like, don't make me get into the argument of you want to believe Aaron is the best written version of this, but no one's ever seen Code Geass, so they don't understand. Like, Aaron is the problem I have with Aaron is that the entire time you thought he was doing good because he wanted to see the Titans erased, and then he's just like, well, no, I'm going to use the Titans to just murder people.
Yeah. As
Meanwhile, when you watch Lelouch, at any point you're like, that motherfucker could be the ultimate villain of this story. And then he did it, but to sacrifice himself to fucking...
Yeah, what was the line? Like, those who kill need to prepare to be killed as well.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
Like, it was a beautiful fucking scene.
Oh my god, so magical.
And then
I'd
they
go-
brought him back.
No, that didn't happen. Please don't tell me it did.
Unfortunately,
I know
I'm
it did.
here to report to you that it did
No, I
because
kn-
we can't leave good things
No,
alone.
those movies don't exist. They're not real.
Okay.
They can't hurt me.
So is Naruto the kind of thing you guys would go back to? Besides nostalgia factor, do you think people
Okay.
I will rewatch a Naruto AMV featuring Rock Lee and Gaara set to Linkin Park. Other than that, absolutely not.
I have rewatched some fights, one of them being the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight because it's
Of
a
course,
fucking classic.
it's a banger.
But like in terms of watching the show, reading the manga, no.
Yeah,
Hell
you're
no, I
you're
couldn't.
gonna get deep into that Boruto.
Oh, you know.
Once you get
Oh,
past
yeah.
the time skip, it gets good.
Oh, yeah. Boruto seems like a very tolerable and lovable character. I can't wait to
What
go on
did
that
my
adventure.
dad ever do? The
Okay.
fact that exits that character's mouth tells you everything you need to know.
What did my dad do for the village?
What did my dad ever do for the village?
Okay, so what would you guys give Boruto?
I would never watching. Please delete it from existence.
I've seen clips, and that was enough. I don't think it should exist, and I don't know why it exists beyond the obvious
You
reason.
want to watch Sasuke fighting the Raptors again?
Oh, don't remind me that exists.
Why?
Why?
Do you remember the most important, the most effective a kunai's ever been is when Sasuke needed to lose his Rinnegan? Yeah, you forgot about that, didn't you?
I did.
Well, it's back.
It's okay to let good things end. Not saying that Naruto's good, but just in general, like, things can have endings, folks.
Okay. So, all right. It should have ended. Now, let's get back to the big three. I felt like Bleach ended fine after the No, I think it ended fine like once he got like his spiritual power back and he got like his little, but it kept going. Now, I've been told that the last arc is amazing by you guys. So, what the fuck?
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna let him talk.
I know what happens in the manga. I don't remember every single thing, but I remember the majority of it. There's plenty of cool shit to go around. There's plenty of cool characters, plenty of cool powers.
Those character designs are amazing, and so is their drip.
The fucking Sternritters are just like one of the most standout cool ass factions that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, they're all fucking cool. They all have unique powers. It's sweet.
Let me ask you a question, Salem, before
Sure,
you
sure.
continue. As the only one of us that's currently read or / watch clips from Thousand Year Blood War, does it feel like it was necessary at the end of the manga? Or does it feel kind of like a dream match scenario where we had all these cool characters, but we didn't use all of their abilities? Let's write another arc to display these abilities. We'll write some characters that they're there to fight. It might make sense in story. I don't personally know.
So, if you ask me, right, honestly, they probably could have just ended the series with the final Aizen battle.
Honestly,
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they should have stopped there, in my opinion.
Because we have to consider this, right? So, when they effectively beat Aizen, they sealed him away, slaps hands together, we're good. We then go into the Fullbringer arc, right? And, like...
Is that what it was called?
Yes.
The Fullbring arc or the Fullbring arc, one of the two. But basically, so as, our listeners probably know if they did watch Bleach, so Ichigo lost his Shinigami powers when he was fighting Aizen, right? He used the Mugetsu, and then that effectively erased.
Do you not mean the final Getsu Tensho?
The final Getsuga Tensho?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, he says Mugetsu when he cuts him. Whatever.
Oh, wait, go back to that image, Jose.
So, they're the boy.
Which one's the femme girl or the femme boy?
That would be, if we're not accounting for...
Is it the green hair?
Oh, we're talking about oh, no, you're talking about Giselle Guel. That's the one on the far left there. That's the one.
Damn it.
Sternritter Z.
Is the green-haired one a girl?
These are all ladies. I can confirm.
But you just said one of them's a femboy.
Well, I didn't say that, but yeah.
You
well,
said that.
it's a little in the air.
Does she have a joystick or not? I have a question.
We are not shown the joystick.
I assumed as much. Is it heavily
inferred?
It may be implied that Giselle Guel
okay, but
is
the
a
green
femboy.
one is a girl.
Okay, so
yes,
Great.
that is Candace Catnip.
Okay, so
That's her name.
I'm sorry, her last name's Catnip.
Yep.
Great. I'm here for it.
You look so happy.
So Salem, as I am
Smile.
caught up
Yes.
until the Fullbringer arc, should I continue Thousand Year Blood War?
If you want to see cool shit, yes, I would 100% say go into it.
Well, before we continue,
Yes.
Well, am I correct in my statement that this seems like a dream match?
Okay, so getting back to that.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of how the story plays out, right?
Yep.
So the Fullbringer shit and the 1,000 Year Blood War stuff.
Yep.
we could have just lived without it, if you ask me. Do I think it's cool that we get to see the Quincy's effectively in full force doing shit and being an antagonist? I think it's pretty cool. But honestly, Aizen being defeated, Ichigo losing his powers, defeated in quotes, yeah, sealed away. We could have just ended the story there, I think. The Fullbringer shit more or less was an excuse to give Ichigo his powers back, which if the series ended after Aizen, we wouldn't need.
Stop that.
So I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Does Thousand Year Blood War feel like an arc on like the quality level of like a Soul Society, or even like slightly lower quality but still Hueco Mundo level?
That's a good question,
Like,
honestly.
even if the ending isn't as great as you want it to be, does Thousand Year Blood War stand with the other two big arcs of Hueco Mundo and Soul Society?
I would say probably yes.
Is it like a solid 3 out of the 3 options, like number 3 on the list? Or do you like it better than Hueco Mundo? Because I imagine Soul Society is probably your number 1, as it is for most people.
Soul Society's great, of course. I don't think there's probably going to be anyone out there saying it's bad. But in terms of like the Hueco Mundo events with the Hollows, and then we have Thousand Year Blood War arc with the Quincy.
Yep.
I think they're both on par with each other.
So you think Hueco Mundo and Quincy are neck and neck in that race?
On the spot, I would say probably, just because there's so much cool stuff that happens in both of these arcs. There's a lot of really interesting characters, Masked Day Masculine. But yeah, like there's a bunch of cool shit that happens. There are questions that are answered in the Thousand Year Blood War arc that you could have just not answered if you didn't make.
Are you referring to the ending?
I'm referring to a few things actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's cool that it exists. I think that it's interesting, and we get to see a lot of cool shit.
So you think it's kind of like a return to form for Tite Kubo after the events of the Fullbringer?
Yes, I would.
I mean,
I would.
That's an honest question, just because like I was thoroughly enjoying Soul Society. For clarity, I skipped all the filler and Bleach.
Sure.
So I watched the intro when he's in Karakura Town, then Soul Society, Hueco Mundo, Return to Karakura Town, and Fullbring arc.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the Fullbring arc less, just because I felt like the taking away of Ichigo's powers to give them back, to take them away again, to give them back again, was a little convoluted and unnecessary.
A little silly, huh?
But I think Soul Society was a strong arc, and I think
100%.
me personally, I like Hueco Mundo better.
I don't know. It's kind of hard for me because I do just have a general love for Bleach, but like,
yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know. It's just hard. Like, I would say that the stuff in Thousand Year Blood War arc to me is probably neck and neck with my enjoyment for Hueco Mundo and the events that happened there. But it could have just not existed, and I think the story would have been.
Yeah, like I think you
same
cut
thing
it
with
off.
The Fullbring arc.
You cut it off when Ichigo, in quotes, defeats Aizen,
right? And he loses his powers,
and he loses his powers. Yeah, you literally wrap it up there.
Yeah, call it good. Like the big bad is gone. Ichigo is now free from his Shinigami duties, and he can just go back to doing what he's doing. Leave every other problem to the Soul Reapers. But I guess we need him to get his powers back, and we need to keep on fighting people.
Do you feel like that was Kubo getting pressed down upon from like Jump, saying we need this to continue?
100%. That's how they are. Well, that's how the management used to be. Now they're just like every mangaka like lately is just like, yeah, I don't want this to blow out to like 500 chapters.
Like I almost feel bad for Kubo, considering like he was in essence forced to continue writing maybe when he didn't have any ideas. I feel like if you're right about the Thousand Year Blood War, I feel like he kind of got his mojo back, so to speak. But then it feels like, from what you're telling me, or you told me earlier today, it's like they rushed him to finish that too.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, and I mean, I haven't looked into like the official story for him like concluding his series in quite some time.
Yeah.
But like from what I understand, he was more or less told like, "Hey, we need to wrap this up."
Yeah.
Because from like when you near the end of this arc and effectively the series, it does feel like we just need shit to end. Like there are, from what I recall, fights that just aren't really concluded. Like we just kind of wipe them away.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say anything.
Is it like the Demon Slayers? How he was like, I don't want to fucking do 12 of these fucking things.
I don't want to
Dude.
deal with the 12 lesser moons. Cut them.
Well, that's the thing though, because like Kubo decided to create effectively 26 Stern Ritters, each with unique powers on top of their innate Quincy ones.
Jesus
All of
Christ.
them.
The Soul
And-
Society arc went way too long with 10 Arankar. So I'm just,
You mean Hueco
well, yeah, Wake 'em Window.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Ten Espada.
Yeah, Espada. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Whatever, man.
I mean, they got multiple.
I love
kinds.
Bleach and their
Actually,
designs. I love Bleach and their designs, but in my opinion, I couldn't tell you anything that happened in Bleach besides like a couple of fights and big moments.
I could, but let's not get all into that. But effectively, just to answer the questions here. I do think that it's cool. The Thousand Year Blood War arc exists and does answer a few questions that we could, have lingered on. We find out more about Ichigo. Let that just sit. And we get to see a lot of cool ass powers. It's just that unfortunately, Tite Kubo, in my opinion, when it comes to Bleach, can't effectively end an arc to save his life. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but it's just like when you look at the endings to a lot of these arcs, it just, at least to me, does not feel very satisfying.
Like Soul Society leads into Hueco Mundo, but then, right?
Well, I mean, as an example, right? Let's say like Aizen.
Right.
Right. Now, Ichigo uses, the final Getsuga Tensho, the, blanking now, the Mugetsu, right? And like, it hits Aizen. We cut to Ichigo seeing what happened to Aizen. Aizen wasn't beaten by it. Like, literally, he was just weakened by it to the point where Urahara steps in, and apparently he did something prior to Ichigo fighting him, and is now sealing him away. So Ichigo didn't even really beat him.
Man,
like,
I'd just like to cut in here real
Sure.
quick. I never realized the connection between Aizen and fucking Gojo until just now. Like, I've created a character so powerful that I need to seal him away. Literally happens twice.
That's becoming a trope now.
I mean, I feel like if you're, depending on your quality of writing, like, you have to have a way to defeat your own character. I feel like Gege and Tite both wrote themselves into a little bit of a corner.
One or the other, if you know, you know. That's all I'll say about that.
But here's the thing, too, at least in Aizen's case, right? Like, when Ichigo stepped up to the plate and told Aizen, like, hey, one-on-one, we're doing this shit, he was bodying Aizen the entire fucking time. Like, no chance Aizen was doing a damn thing to Ichigo. Like, he was slapping away attacks, he didn't give a shit. And yet, for some reason, Kubo decided Aizen is still alive after he gets hit with the final fucking attack from a guy bodying him the whole time, and then seals him away. Like, I don't understand.
Did he really get hit by all those attacks, or was he just making you think he did?
Oh, were you under the impression that you hadn't seen my Shikai?
This is the problem with, like, Gojo and Aizen is just like, you can just magic that away by saying, did it really happen, Ichigo, or were you just under my Shikai?
Were you in the Infinite Tsukuyomi this whole time?
I mean, kinda.
Okay, so what, like, Bleach is something I want to revisit and reread because I feel like I didn't appreciate it enough when I watched it in high school because I basically binged it all throughout summer and then completely forgot about it. Like, I don't remember anything, and every now and then I have to look up YouTube videos to be like, okay, who's what's what is this? So I feel like that's something I would definitely want to revisit. Like, like I said before, I've already read Naruto like twice at this point. It's a wet fart at the end, and it's a wet fart for a buildup.
For Naruto, yeah.
Yeah. But with Bleach, I kind of want to give it another go. And this time read the manga instead of watching it.
Sure. I have bad news. It's kind of a wet fart at the end of the anime, too, on Bleach.
Oh, well, let's say...
Yeah, this comes back to how I think most of the arcs that Kubo writes for Bleach just don't end in a very satisfying way, right?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All I was going to say is that the other thing that would irritate me about the Thousand Year Blood War arc existing, besides the fact that it's possible we could just go without the arc and just end the series back when Izum was the threat, is that because, from what I understand, Kubo being rushed with ending his series, the ending to me does not feel satisfying at all either. Like, if anyone is reading it, or if they watch the series, which I'm kind of interested how the anime is going to do the ending for that, I think it's kind of bullshit, frankly, how the problem is resolved. I think it's goofy as fuck, but, some people might.
Is it the power of friendship?
Oh, it's the power of something, all right.
Power of
Okay.
bullshit?
There's no brave punches, I promise. There's none of that.
Thank you, God.
So, the power of friendship. Let's let it die.
This isn't a good joke.
No, I was gonna say the power of friendship. Let's just let it die. So, okay, now on to the last one.
Dirty boots.
Mr. Morale himself,
They
DOT,
get stronger the dirtier they get.
That's true.
the Kendrick Lamar of manga.
Yeah.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Salem, you don't know anything about this one.
He knows things.
I know generally what the story is, and if you were to tell me some events, I could kind of talk about it. But you guys are the more powerhouses in this department.
He's the powerhouse in this department.
I'm just caught up with the anime. I'm not caught up on the manga. Big things happen in the manga.
Oh,
the big reveals. Oh, you want to be careful with that one. Okay, we should be safe.
So, One Piece, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I've been reading it. Pretty great.
You're telling me that the story of One Piece is good?
Let me ask you.
That's insane.
It is good.
Ask you a question, Jose. How long did it take for you to start reading One Piece after I reminded you constantly that you should read it?
2 years.
Yeah. And he says it's great.
And I laugh. I still have not read One Piece.
Like maybe you should start reading it. I don't know.
Okay, so the main arcs, East Blue,
Yeah.
Alabasta, great. Sky Island, don't skip it. Everyone tends to skip it. Don't. Even I can tell you don't skip it.
So
where did you get to? I need to know this for reasons.
I am done with Whole Cake Island. I'm now entering Wano.
So I do want to ask you guys this question.
You did Zoe, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I do want to ask real quick, why do people say to skip Sky Island then?
Because it's it's not as great. Okay, what was the arc before Sky? It was...
Alabasta.
Yeah, Alabasta. Alabasta is about, a couple of 100 chapters leading up to the fight with Crocodile. And
that sounds right.
And you had Vivi with you. It became like this whole journey in and of itself. It was a great time. And then it ends. That arc ends. And for some people, I feel like they just didn't want to move forward. So that's why the next arc, they kind of give it as a wet fart. And some people just skip it completely because they were there at their high. That was their highest at that point.
So when I talk about Skypiea, my biggest thing is always you have to get to a certain point to understand why Skypiea is important. Like it's the same thing with trying to think here. Fishman Island. Fishman Island is a great example. People don't like Fishman Island. I understand why people don't like Fishman Island. As a poor villain, you don't really do a lot there. There's a lot of like loose threads that are added to the bundle of loose threads you're already holding on to. You get almost zero answers. I understand. It's similar with Skypiea where stuff is happening. There's very few things that are answered. The villain's great. I think Enel is
he's fun.
Probably top 5 villain in One Piece.
Okay.
I would put him up there. Like, there will be a time when Enel returns to the One Piece universe, and it's going to be a good time.
In case anyone didn't know, the manga covers tell us where he is. He's just chilling on the moon.
I mean, yeah, the manga cover. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that guy.
Like, even Crocodile. Crocodile comes back later. Crocodile is a very, important character to the story. Like, not even where you are, where I am, he comes back again because he's just going to be a returning character.
So it's setting up for things that happen later on.
Yes,
and that's why people are kind of just
like if you watch Skypiea, you would just be like, what was this about? There's not a lot here. It is a cool villain.
I like the story. I like the backstory. Was it Drake? The guy who was the liar.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I really liked that backstory. That backstory was really fucking good. Considering that it took up like maybe 10 chapters or so where I'm just reading about this guy, I got super invested in that, in this story. And sure, it tells you like people thought he was a liar, and then you get confirmed that he wasn't. And that was a really nice side story. But I think what people wanted were answers to what's now happening up in Skypiea. They just don't get talked about. They don't.
You get those answers later. It's the same thing with Fishman Island. Like, very briefly, there's a character in Fishman Island that is a fortune teller, and during the crew's time on the island, he says or she says that Luffy will bring about the destruction of Fishman Island.
And if I remember correctly, right, her predictions are always like 100%
Correct.
money. Okay.
So you go through it and you're like, oh well, maybe Oda just wrote that in there and that wasn't a thing. Like that will come back, I promise you. That might even be in the most recent chapter that dropped where all that stuff happened that I don't know about and I'm trying to avoid. Like that might be part of it. But like so the arcs that seem insignificant at the time you're watching it become like it all compounds on itself. Like you start tying those loose threads together and it forms a cohesive narrative.
Okay. So it's not necessarily pointless. Like these things that it's setting up are going to be
Like
addressed.
like a small thing that you'll have finished by the time you're like through Thriller Bark is when they come over Reverse Mountain and they are entering the Grand Line. They meet a whale named Laboon.
Laboon. Yeah.
And you find out from the doctor at the lighthouse staying next to Laboon that Laboon was like adopted by this other pirate crew, and then they set sail for the Grand Line, leaving Laboon saying, "We'll come back to see you." Like through like 200 chapters later, or episodes, whatever you want to call it, you find a character from that crew. Like he's tying these things together. You thought he forgot. He never forgets. That man has a mind of a steel trap. I swear to God.
And remember the giants. What were they called? They keep
Dory and Bragi.
yeah. They're introduced, and you're kind of thinking like, oh, these are kind of one-off giant characters. No, the giants are a particular race of people that are somehow always at the center of things, and they're super important. Like with Big Mom, like with the Navy. The Navy somehow has to have giants in them. Because the Navy's also particularly obsessed with having like giants in their ranks, and just things like that. And then we still have to remember, we still have to get to the where the giants are, because remember, Usopp doesn't tell lies.
That's right.
I'll just leave it at that. Usopp doesn't tell lies, and he has said a bunch of things that have then become like that have come true later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what do people say? Like his hockey is like the scene of the future or whatever.
Yeah, he has oh shit, put me on the spot here. Some kind of I forget which hockey. It just it allows him.
Is it like perception or something like that?
That sounds right.
Well,
might be wrong.
Essentially, like Oda keeps me on my toes like Kishimoto doesn't. Kishimoto is actively trying to get me to put down the manga, not Oda. But I have to put down the manga because if I try to speed through it, I won't get any sleep. That's what happens every time I read One Piece. It's just One Piece then I start consuming One Piece. I want to continue, and if I don't finish, so this is basically me. I have to consume an arc, or else I won't move forward. So with the Big Mom arc, I wasn't sleeping for like 3 days because I was like waking up and trying to read One Piece. And like I don't particularly like the Whole Cake Island arc. In my opinion, I didn't care for it.
That's wild to me, visitors.
But I will just say I did like parts of it. I just didn't like the whole Big Mom thing. So,
did you like Katakuri?
Which one's that?
The Mochi guy.
Mochi no Mi.
He has a scarf always on.
Oh yeah, I liked him. He was great.
I think most of Big Mom's extended family is quite excellent.
Yeah, but I just didn't like the story of it in and of itself, like that this was the plot that we're going with. And then Germa 66, I didn't care for these knockoff Power Rangers either. Wasn't really my
Yeah,
thing.
did I tell you about the Power Rangers in One Piece, Salem?
You may have neglected to tell me about that, and I don't know about it.
Yeah, they're Power Rangers. You should read it.
You have my attention.
Well,
Okay.
You just got to
Okay.
get to Whole Cake Island. It's
Yeah.
only like 900 chapters.
Yeah, it's about in the 900 mark. So, but yeah, like I think what hasn't surpassed, in my personal opinion, was the Impel Down and Marine Ford. Just, I remember reading that, and it was just so good the entire time. Buggy being a supporting character for that entire arc, it was great. Crocodile was there. That's where we met Jinbei. So it's like, yeah, Oda knows how to tie together a story really well, unlike Kishimoto.
What are you
So
talking about? Naruto's the best of the big.
and then like I've seen those arguments online where it's like, what are you talking about? Luffy got handed everything. Like, no, he didn't. So Naruto didn't either. All of them trained for it, but they also had a lot of plot convenience.
Naruto did get handed a lot of his powers.
He was definitely born with certain genetic advantages, as well as having the nine tails inside of him.
The
Hold on, let me pause. She called just to yell at me, and now this is going to become too. I should have hit the pause.
What were
button.
you saying?
Oh, about what? Oh,
I don't know.
Naruto.
Oh yeah, Naruto had the nine tails sealed inside him. Was trained by one of the best ninjas in the village.
Yeah, he was born from the Uzumaki clan, who
Like
are known to
Neji
have.
was right the entire time. Like unironically, unironically, Kishimoto was like, "I'm
This
gonna
is
make
the
this."
underdog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
Naruto's the strapping young underdog who had to work for his, status or whatever. Like, no, fuck off. You know who did that? Rock Lee.
and
Okay.
if you come back and say, "Oh, that's what Kishimoto meant to say when Neji told him that," fuck off, fuck right the fuck off.
Neji was right. Rock Lee would make a way better main character. And yeah, no, like Naruto was handed a lot of shit and also was privileged to learn from like great people.
Unironically, I'd watch a 10-10 anime
But
if they made her a good character.
now, Devil's
she
Advocate.
swung around a fan a little bit in the fourth
like
grade ninja war.
The idea that the great ninja tools or weapons is such a cool concept, and the fact that he was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna write that."
Okay, Devil's Advocate though, Naruto did have to work for a couple things, but it's not like where it's also. But we're also not saying that he got he didn't get handed everything. He worked towards everything. Same with Luffy.
How long did it take Naruto to do the shirt?
The Rasen Shuriken?
No, just the Rasengan. Wasn't it like a day?
No, it was like a couple days.
It wasn't very long.
He had to. It was from like when they did the tuning exam to like, no, because he had to practice.
Naruto was learning under
Jiraiya.
Yeah, and Jiraiya was the one that was showing him, hey, like this is
if your hair goes this way, your Rasen goes this way.
That was pretty stupid.
It's Uzumaki.
It's a little goofy.
It's a little on the nose.
I know.
He was learning from Jiraiya, one of the three Sannin, like highly regarded and famous ninja, along with Tsunade and Orochimaru. But like it did not take him very long to learn how to do the fucking Rasengan.
Like okay, so off topic slightly.
Sure.
The fact that he could use his shadow clones to increase his training speed because they all like congeal the knowledge that they all learn once the shadow clones disappear. Like that seems a little I don't know.
That's kind of like a cheat code.
Yeah, like literally man's putting in cheat codes by using shadow clones. I guess
accelerate. We need stuff to keep going.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and say like every bit of training that Luffy did was completely fleshed out and you saw months of training, but I feel like he writes it in better than Naruto making a bunch of shadow clones to train faster.
Well, I'd also like to keep in mind too, right? Like, so do you guys remember at the very start of Naruto, right? How Naruto kind of has to like force his shit to work
Yeah,
a
he
lot of
has
the
to
time.
spend like 3 times as much chakra to do the same thing that any other ninja could do.
It helps when, one, you're born to a clan who is known for high chakra reserves and also have a fucking demon in your body who also helps you out.
With
That's
nearly
interesting.
infinite chakra.
And keep in mind, the Ninetales also heals like fatal wounds and shit too, because he's the host. Like, he has some help.
I do want to point this out though. Had Luffy not gotten the Gum Gum Devil Fruit, or
the Gomu Gomu no Mi.
correct, he could have just as easily been powerful enough. Look at Kobe.
Oh, I thought,
Kobe.
yeah.
Oh, that boy got a glow up.
Well, I mean, I feel like Oda was trying to like write a character that, while achieving the same thing that Goldie Roger did, would never actually reach Goldie Roger's level, because to our knowledge at this point, Goldie Roger has no devil fruit.
Yeah.
And still became the king of the pirates. So I think he automatically like set Luffy like down a tier, because he'll always have that advantage of,
he'll always have to rely on his devil fruit.
He'd always have become king of the pirates, but he had a devil fruit. Roger did it before and had no devil fruit.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to have to get to work soon. So we'll end it here. Maybe we could pick this up at some other time. You know, if we get any critiques or commentaries and we read them, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with our opinions because, you know, Naruto is very beloved. So is One Piece. And then people are in the background like, yeah, Bleach is good. I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, those Bleach fans are just sitting there on their bleachers saying, yeah, it's pretty good, guys. I don't know.
I don't know why you guys keep fighting over Naruto and One Piece.
Like,
Kishimoto and Oda are friends. What are you?
Like, Bleach has its problems 100%, but like...
Oh, One Piece has myriad of issues, especially the anime. The pacing is so incredibly horrible.
So I've heard. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and just say One Piece is the greatest piece of fiction ever written. It's pretty good, but it's got problems.
Well, that's to say, this has been another ABS episode. Hopefully we can pick this up at some other point. I'm Jose Isanomonjo, and who are you?
Wyatt.
And who are you?
I'm Baker, as far as I know.
All right. Well, this is ABS, the Anti-Braking System, also known as Anime Bullshit Podcast, or ABS. Hopefully I can get this out by Sunday and not take a whole week to edit like the last one. So the last one we did on 420 came out today. I posted it today. That's on me. I'm sorry.
Good. No, that's good.
But I'm hoping that this one can be done tomorrow, the following day, on Sunday. So keep an ear out for that. Hopefully we can build some kind of following. Let your friends know. Let your homies know. Let your grandma know. Just let anybody know. We'd like to hear feedback on these opinions, like I've said in the descriptions. These are takes that aren't very popular, so...
I will fight you, dear listeners.
But...
do not tempt me.
I just want people to justify how cool Naruto is, and Boruto so especially.
Cool.
Well, aside from that, thank you for anyone who decided to listen. Have a good one.